Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I'm Lynn Coughlin with Norwegian Cruise Line, and I'm so excited to speak with you today about cruising to Bermuda, a personal favorite of mine. There's a lot of daydreaming happening right now, and when we think of Bermuda, it's daydreaming in watercolor. Today I'm going to share with you a featured Bermuda itinerary. I'm going to talk to you about our unique freestyle cruising experience with Norwegian. We'll talk about why Bermuda is a perfect cruise destination. We'll discuss some of the wonderful excursions available to you in destination. We'll briefly touch on our return to sailing health and safety protocols. And then we'll wrap with some questions and answers. So please, as you think of questions, kindly submit them using the Zoom chat box. Let's jump right in and watch a short video that will really help us to daydream what a Bermuda cruise would be all about. At Norwegian Cruise Line, we offer cruises to Bermuda from both Boston and New York. From Boston, there are smaller ships like the Norwegian Gem and the Norwegian Pearl. From New York City, there are the larger and newer ships, the Joy and the Bliss. We are on sale through summer of 2023 right now. The majority of our cruises to Bermuda are 7 days in length. We do offer a few shorter cruises, 4 and 5 days. The shorter cruises are more about the ship and less about the destination, as there isn't much time spent in Bermuda. For today, the featured itinerary that I've selected is a 7-day sailing from New York. Our Bermuda season runs from May through October, which coincides perfectly with Bermuda's high season. Here's a picture of the Norwegian Joy. She's absolutely beautiful. At Norwegian, we always have some colorful hull art on display. There's a nice picture of her hull art. The Norwegian Joy was built in 2017. She started sailing in Asia. She wasn't as popular in Asia as we thought, so we brought her back to this side of the world, and we westernized her. We spent nearly $100 million refurbishing her. She looks absolutely magnificent. There are 20 decks. She has just under 168,000 gross tons, crew of 1,800, and guest capacity of just under 3,900. She's absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to show you the pictures. Sailing from New York City is a magical experience. So we dock at Pier 88, which is right next to the Intrepid Museum. So if you're standing up on a higher deck looking down at the Intrepid Museum, it's pretty awesome. Your cruise sets sail and you sail down the Hudson, and it really is off to a magical start. At Norwegian Cruise Line, we are different than the other cruise lines. We call it the Norwegian difference. So I want to tell you a little bit about what makes us so special and so unique. We believe that your vacation time is precious and that you should choose to schedule it as you want. It's the freedom to cruise your way. We have no fixed dining times in our complimentary restaurants. You can get dressed up, you can go casual. We have an equal number of complimentary and specialty restaurants. So on the Norwegian Joy, we actually have 29 total restaurants. So half of them would be complimentary, where you can eat whenever you want, with whomever you want, wear whatever you want. And the others would be the specialty restaurants that would be a little bit smaller, where you would make your a dinner reservation. But again, you can wear what you want. We do also offer additional perks, including free open bar, free specialty dining, free Wi-Fi, free shore excursions, and third and fourth guest sail free. So we have some incredible promotions going on right now, and I'll talk about those at the end. But we really do make it like an all-inclusive experience. What I love about Norwegian is that we really are a cruise product for everyone. While some cruise lines cater to a particular demographic, we have broad appeal. So whether you're a luxury client, you're a solo traveler, you are groups or families or foodies, you're looking for that all-inclusive cruise experience, Norwegian Cruise Line fits the bill. Let's take a look at the beautiful Norwegian Joy. This is the atrium So this is the Heartbeat. There's some other public areas. It's a great selection of shops and lounges, photo galleries, so you can document your experience. The Mandara Spa, so beautiful. Ocean Place, floor 678, deck 678 are the heartbeat of the ship. Beautiful casino, fitness center, more shops. She really does look beautiful. This is one of my favorite areas, the Observation Lounge. Another view of the cigar lounge. No shortage of bars and lounges. The Haven Lounge at the top of the ship for the Haven guests. Tell you, you won't go thirsty or hungry on a Norwegian cruise. Just love how beautiful this ship is. I've been lucky enough to spend about 3 weeks on the Joy, and it's just so spectacular. She truly is one of my favorite in our fleet. And here's a view of the main dining room, the Manhattan room, complimentary. We also have Savor, complimentary dining, and Taste, say beautiful. The Garden Cafe, that's our buffet, and the Haven restaurant, exclusive for the guests of the Haven. The Local is a 24-hour restaurant, so if you have a craving in the middle of the night, the Local's where you go, and room service is also available. We have a number of wonderful specialty restaurants. Ocean Blue is a seafood. Teppanyaki would be Asian fusion. It has wonderful show cooking. American Diner. The Atrium Cafe and Bar. It's right in the center of the ship. Cagney's Steakhouse, very popular. And Coco's for your sweet indulgences. Those are just a few of the specialty dining establishments. Many of our restaurants have al fresco dining too, which I think is so spectacular. So the Italian, the steak, the French, and the seafood all have outdoor dining. You can see this middle, this wooden walkway there in the center. That's part of the promenade. It's a 1/4 mile long wooden walkway around the ship. It's just so pleasant to stroll around, come across restaurants and bars, really beautiful. There's no shortage of activities on an NCL ship. 3 of our ships, including the Norwegian Joy, have the racetrack. It is very exciting. These are double-decker racetracks. This is on decks 18 and 19. It's a 2-story track. The carts for single or double, they go up to 30 miles per hour. You do wear a helmet. And when you're in this go-kart racing around the track, you can't even imagine that you're on the top of a ship. We also have a great laser tag area, and Galaxy Pavilion is a virtual reality as well on the Joy. And then of course we have the water features. So we have the aqua parks, the Ocean Loop, Aqua Racer, and then the kids aqua park. You know, parents are happiest when their children are happy. We do a really good job at keeping families happy and together, enjoying their vacation. We also have fantastic evening entertainment, the best at sea. We have Broadway shows, we have dinner shows, live music, themed parties, comedy club. Some of the comedians I've seen on our ships are absolutely hysterical, and many have performed on Saturday Night Live. They're really, really great. I do encourage you to attend the shows. The current show on the Joy, I believe, is Footloose. You know, if you were to see Footloose on Broadway, you'd be paying upwards of $100 a person. But our Broadway shows are complimentary to our guests. It's part of that whole all-inclusive concept. We do offer the richest mix of staterooms, everything from studio cabins for the solo cruiser up to suites that can accommodate 8 to 10 guests. This is a popular stateroom meta, the balcony cabin. I love how beautifully appointed it is. I wanted to show you what it looks like on the Norwegian Joy. We also have the Haven section up at the top of the ship. This is our exclusive area for the most discriminating guests. And it's private balcony, private butler, private embarkation, disembarkation, private seating in the shows, private restaurants, private lounge. Have I said private enough? I think you get the idea. Really spectacular. Let's take a peek now at this short video that will show us more of the freestyle, how pleasing the freestyle concept is.
Pull back the shades on a blue sky, sunny day. Watch all the worries of the world just sail away. An ocean, keep your heart wide open. I'm too busy feeling this free. Hey, 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 come on and celebrate. Hey, 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 it feels so good, go ahead. Hey, 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 don't let a moment slip away. Big time, so let's go. Let's go. Open your eyes and free your soul. You picked the perfect time, so let's go. Let's go. Taking a breeze with the magic kind of view. All that you need is right in front of you. So much to see, so much to do. I'm too busy feeling this free. Hey, 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 don't let a moment slip away. Hey, 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 it feels so good, go ahead and open your eyes and free your soul. You picked the perfect time, so let's go, let's go. Let's go.
And before you know it, it's Wednesday morning and you've arrived in Bermuda. Absolutely beautiful island. The ship docks in Dockyard, which is out on the west end. And Dockyard itself is a fun place. It has pubs and shops and restaurants. It's a little bit of a map. It has the Bermuda Maritime Museum is located here. And there's also a nice beach called Snorkel Park Beach that's within easy walk. Last time I was here, I walked over. It was a 5-minute leisurely stroll. I walked in my flip-flops and cover up, and before I knew it, I was at Snorkel Park Beach. And you can actually rent snorkeling equipment there, or you could bring your own if you happen to bring it on board. But this whole Royal Naval Dockyard area is a really fun area, and it's fantastic that we're docked here. It's another picture of one of the buildings in the Royal Naval Dockyard. This is a Bermuda's version of a shopping mall. Inside are a number of stores. And yeah, so much of Bermuda, what I like to do in Bermuda centers around the water. The turquoise color water, absolutely magnificent. And so what I like to do is, snorkel and go sunset sailing and scuba diving and things like that. Anything around the water. Just see how beautiful that turquoise water is. My kids love to explore the caves. It's a number of caves that you can go in, and some of them you can actually even swim in. And I'll tell you, that water in the caves is freezing cold, but fun to do. We do have a private ferry boat that leaves Dockyard right near the ship, and it brings guests exclusively for NCL guests to this original capital city of St. George. Very charming. Another picture of one of the buildings in St. George. And it's just so beautiful. It's the blue sky and the pastel colored buildings and the white limestone and the turquoise ocean. It's just prettier than a postcard. It's another shot of Bermuda and all the pastel houses. The houses there's only a certain number of colors that a house can be painted, approved colors. Just makes it so really beautiful. And if you're on the water looking at the land, it's lovely. And if you're on the land looking out at the water, it's also lovely. There's not a bad view in Bermuda. This is the capital of Hamilton, which is so fun to get to. I mentioned that we have a private ferry boat that brings guests to St. George. The public ferry boat is leaves right from Dockyard into Hamilton. It's not expensive. I think it's $4 each way, but it makes it very easy to get into Hamilton and points beyond. Bermuda has a wonderful public transportation system, a combination of ferry boats and public buses. They're clean, they're reliable. If there's not an empty seat, a young child will get up and offer you their seat, which has happened to me, and I always think I'm not that old, but I really appreciate the gesture. So definitely, it's a great island to explore. Of course, you can always also rent mopeds or scooters. I have not done that before. I've actually not been, brave enough to do that. I do have family that lives in Paget, and I prefer to take the taxis, the public ferry boats, or the public buses when I explore. Maybe you're interested in a sunset sail or a daytime sail, or they even have catamaran sails that go out into the Bermuda Triangle at night, and apparently they tell creepy stories. And you might include a couple of rum swizzles or painkillers on one of these catamaran trips. But there's just so much to do in Bermuda. Every time I go, I love the island more and more. Of course, no trip to Bermuda would be complete without a stop at Horseshoe Bay Beach. It is the most famous beach in Bermuda, and it's amazing when you pick up that clump of sand in your hand, you look down and you see the pink corally pieces. It's just beautiful. There are many smaller cove-like beaches, but Horseshoe Bay Beach is one of the most popular. And there is a bus that brings guests to Horseshoe Bay Beach right from the ship, round trip. There's a small charge for that, but it makes it very convenient. Okay, as you know, we're on pause right now, so we can't wait to sail again. Last spring, we collaborated with the Royal Caribbean Group, and we put together a panel of experts, 11 globally recognized experts in the field of science and public health. And together, this team presented recommendations to the CDC in prevention for a healthy return to sailing. The recommendations were very well received. We continue to meet regularly with them, this panel does. And you know, I know when we return to sailing, it will be because it's safe to do so. But our program centers around 6 main pillars. Enhanced screening protocol, so there would be additional screenings prior to embarkation, while on board, and then prior to disembarkation. There'll be increased sanitation measures, so the ships will be cleaned and disinfected even more thoroughly than they have been in the past, and prior to every voyage in accordance with the vessel sanitation program. And all new air filtration. We're in the midst of installing medical grade HEPA air filters in all of our staterooms and public areas. At least in the beginning, when we return to sailing, there will be responsible social distancing required. We've created 2 new onboard medical resources officers that will be monitoring all of the health and safety protocols. And then, of course, everything that we do on the ship has to extend to the shore as well. So we take the health and safety of our guests and crew extremely seriously. You know, it's our priority, and we won't sail until it's safe to do so. We think that this Bermuda cruise is a recipe for success. You know, whether you're sailing from Boston or New York, it's 2 days at sea, 3 days on island, and 2 days returning. And it's just, you know, a perfect combination. I don't know about you, but for me, it takes me a couple of days to settle into vacation. So I love those 2 sea days, you know, to go to the spa, to familiarize myself with the ship, to go to the gym, to read a book in one of the lounges in the observation area. It's just, I think, very, you know, wonderful time to just settle into the vacation, so that once you arrive on that Wednesday morning in Bermuda, you're ready to hit the ground running. It's so easy to get on and off the ship because it's docked at dockyards, and because you're there for 3 days, there are not long lines of guests waiting to get on and off. The Norwegian Joy has 29 different dining options. We talked about the wonderful excursions. I didn't mention golf, but it's listed here. Did you know that Bermuda has more golf courses? They have 9 golf courses on the island, more golf courses per square mile than any other place in the world. So if you're a golf fanatic, you love golfing in Bermuda. One of my favorite courses is the public course Port Royal. It has a few holes that are overlooking the beautiful turquoise water. It's a real distraction from my golf game, but it's just beautiful. We mentioned we have the free ferry to St. George. The shipboard entertainment is fantastic. You know, the ship tends to be quieter while it's in port. So if you wanted to just lounge by the pool for a few hours, you know, it's not crowded, we just think that this is a wonderful recipe for success. Oh, also the casino, we do have permission to have the casino opened every evening in port, and that's a little bit unusual. So we say that this whole Bermuda cruise provides 0 chance for boredom. This is a fantastic time to book your Norwegian cruise. It's seldom that we have an offer, that I've seen an offer that is this rich. Right now, we are offering 30% off all ships, all destinations, plus all 5 of our main value adds. So that's free open bar. It's up to 8 guests in the cabin that are 21 years of age and over. And it's all drinks under $15. Free specialty dining, that's 2 dinners during a 7-day sailing, such as the Bermuda sailing on the Joy. Excursion credits, this is a $50 off when you're pre-booking your excursion. It's $50 off for each excursion that you book. The Wi-Fi is 250 minutes during the 7-day sailing. And you know, that's great. Many people say if they can't take a picture and post it, it's like it didn't happen. So Wi-Fi has become very important, and it's a nice value add. And then we also have the free extra guests, 3rd and 4th guests in the cabin, sail free. So all of this together combined equals a value of $2,900. So again, that's why it's considered more of an all-inclusive sort of cruise vacation. Okay. As an additional exclusive offer, when booking with the CruiseWeb, the wonderful travel advisors at the CruiseWeb, I'm going to give you chocolate-covered strawberries and a $50 onboard credit for every cabin. That's any ship, any sailing, and that's for new bookings made in the next 7 days. Thank you so much for joining. I do see that we have some questions that have been chatted in. I love getting questions. So let me look here at this question. And the first one, let's do this one. Is it warm enough to swim in May? Absolutely. The Gulf Stream keeps the water in Bermuda very warm. I actually swim year round. I have family that live in Paget, and I have visited at all times of the year, and I swim year round. The Bermudians go in on start swimming again on Bermuda Day, and that is the last Friday in May. It's a little bit like our Memorial Day, and then it's their unofficial kickoff to summer. But that's when the Bermudians think it's warm enough to swim. So absolutely. Can you swim in May? For sure, for sure. Okay, next question. How early can you book excursions with Norwegian Cruise Line? That's a great question. So our excursions, our list of excursions usually is available 6 months before sailing. So that's when you would be able to pre-book your excursions. The way it works is you would pay in full for your excursion. You have to, it's not a deposit you put down, you pay for the full excursion, but you get $50 right away off the cost of that excursion. So it's $50 each off of each excursion that you book as one of our NCL perks. I definitely recommend pre-booking excursions. The more popular ones tend to sell out. So by pre-booking, you avoid disappointment, and you can cancel your if you change your mind, you can cancel your shore excursion up to just a few days before sailing. Okay, next question. So you said Bermuda was a great island to explore. Can visitors rent cars? Okay, so Bermuda has a strict 1 car per family limit. Until recently, visitors couldn't rent cars. But about 2 years ago, they bought over 20 mini electric cars. They're 2-seaters, there are 2 styles, one where you sit right one behind the other, very narrow, and one where you're side by side. So you can rent those, and that's something that you would definitely want to do in advance because there's not many of them on the whole island. I think that their public transportation system, their public buses and ferry boats is a great way to get around. I have not been brave enough to rent a moped. The roads are narrow and windy, and many of them have rock walls lining one side. And of course they drive on the left. So I prefer to let somebody else do the driving. So whether it's a taxi or a bus or a ferry boat, that's what I prefer. But certainly you could explore, if you're brave, doing the moped or the mini car. Okay, let's see. Are there additional discounts for groups? Yes, and the CruiseWeb has our very best group pricing. For Norwegian Cruise Line, a group is a minimum of 7 cabins. So there are additional voyage fare discounts and bonus amenities for groups. I think, excuse me, traveling in a group is going to be a very popular way to travel. Norwegian Cruise Line is very good with groups. We have traditionally had a lot of group business on our ships, but I think after the pandemic, group travel is going to become even more popular. We're missing each other, right? We're missing our families, we're missing our friends. So I definitely think that booking a group is a fantastic idea. So definitely reach out to your CruiseWeb travel advisor and they will help you put a group together. And you can get those additional discounts and bonus amenities. Let's just check the time here. It looks like we are approaching our time limit, but I do want to get to one more question. If I don't get to your question, please rest assured that the travel advisors at the CruiseWeb will follow up with you and answer those that I didn't get to. The advisors are so knowledgeable about our product, and definitely they will steer you and provide you with the proper response. Is there any advantage to waiting to book now, or should I wait until you know when you will definitely be sailing again? So I can tell you that I am watching our prices steadily increase. So I would say if you're thinking at all of taking a Norwegian cruise, you should book now. Take advantage of the 30% discount, the 5 value-added perks, plus the exclusive CruiseWeb amenities that I'm throwing in there. It's a 50% reduced deposit going on right now. It's risk-free cancellation at this point. There's a great deal of pent-up demand. We're seeing this because as millions of guests have been affected by suspensions, they are rebooking, and they're rebooking into 2022 and into 2023. So I would say don't delay. Definitely, book today. It's risk-free, and that way you avoid disappointment. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you on a Norwegian cruise, and I wish you smooth sailing. Take good care.